And welcome to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks, and it's great to be with you today. We've had a little bit of a storm. We've had a little bit of rain. I hope we had a whole lot of rain in Georgetown, or I'm going to have to water when I go home, and my plants are looking kind of desperate right now. But I am thrilled to have Andy Lockhart on with me today, and Andy is the director of the Bradley Parks and Recreation. Is that your official title?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. And so I asked Andy to come on because there was an article in the Banner, and y'all know how I am about the Banner. I read the Banner, I cut out things, and there was an article about all these events that are coming up for the young people in our community that has to do with Bradley County Parks and Rec. And there's a deadline of July 26th. So I thought I need to get Andy on here so we can talk about this. So I'm going to keep him on for 2 sessions today because the second session I want to talk about something that I'm dearly in love with, but not able to do just yet. But anyway, so the first session today is going to be about parks and recs. And Andy and I were just talking. We're not just talking about one park. How much do you have that you're in charge of?
We cover the Bradley County Recreational Park, which is 234 Urbane Road. Mm-hmm. All right, that has a baseball and a softball complex, so that's a total of 9 fields. Wow. It also has a BMX track that we maintain the grounds around. They take care of the track, but it's pretty busy up there also. It also has tennis courts and our new pickleball courts. I know you want to talk about it a little later.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the second half. Yes.
We also take care of Blue Springs Park, which I believe would be our oldest park. It's off of Blue Springs Road. It's actually, I wrote this down, it's 4854 Blue Springs Road.
Okay.
And we've actually done quite a bit of updating at Blue Springs Park to try to get it a little bit nicer.
Okay, what goes on at Blue Springs Park?
We play our rec league down there.
Okay.
We play rec league at all our parks. We play tournaments. We've played some tournaments at Blue Springs, but they've typically been at our other parks.
Okay.
We also have Bradley North Park. That's off Eureka, 65 Eureka Road.
That's the one I pass going home every day. And I was just telling Andy, seldom do I pass that there's not something going on. And even on Sunday mornings and Wednesday evenings, there's things going on. And when I was growing up, that didn't happen. But that's okay. I mean, I know these things happen. And then Elrod Park. Where is Elrod Park?
Elrod Park is the actual address is 400 Menace Road. It's right beside Parkview Elementary School.
Oh, okay.
Right across the road from the fire hall off Menace. That's our newest park.
Very good.
And it has 4 adult-sized softball fields, 300-foot fences, and it's a work in progress. We're coming along pretty nicely on it, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's 100%. Yet. The fields are playable, and we've got a nice concession, nice bathrooms, and we're working on the inside to kind of clean it up, make it look a little nicer, but we're still, we don't have lights or scoreboards, stuff like that.
Okay.
So we do some stuff out there.
And that's your newest park?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so and they don't just happen overnight?
No. That one's a long time coming. I think they actually started on that one, the plans all the way back in maybe 08 or 09.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of developed slowly. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. But no, they practice on it quite a bit.
Okay. And does the school get to use that for? I just wonder. I don't know whether they play softball at Parkview School or not.
No, they don't. I don't think they typically get over to those fields. It would be kind of a hike even for the 5th graders.
Okay. Okay. Now, also you have the Charleston Football Stadium. Now, this to me is awesome because how many elementary schools do you know that have a football stadium?
I don't know too many.
Me either. But they inherited that when it went from K through 12 to K through 5, and they got the football field.
Yes, ma'am. And we maintain the football field and the area around it. Actually, somebody contacted me today was wanting to do some basketball courts beside that. But we play our rec football. There are 9 and up leagues out there. We play our smaller leagues, 7 and 8s, at the county park at Urbane.
Okay. Well, I know, and if Colton Gibson is listening, he's going to be embarrassed to death, but I remember going for the Super Bowl years ago when Colton might have been 7 years old. I don't know. And they had the Super Bowl at the Charleston football field.
Yes, ma'am.
And those little kids, I don't think Colton was 7, because those little kids, they had adults out on the field with them, because sometimes when they bent over, the helmets were so big, they just kept going. And there were people out there standing the kids up, and it was so enjoyable. And I never will forget, Mayor Davis came by. My husband and I were sitting in the stands because Colton's dad had invited us. And he said, "Oh, do you have grandkids?" And I said, "I'm not that old yet. No, I don't have grandkids." But that was such a thrill to watch those kids. And they were so serious about what they were doing, even at that age.
Yes, they like to play. The kids are as serious as the coaches are sometimes. So they're just happy to be out there playing most of the time.
And I coached elementary basketball for a couple of years at Inglewood, and I always said, if you could shut the door and just let me and the other team, and both teams, both coaches in the gym, and leave the parents out in the hall, it'd be a whole lot more fun.
It might be, but I'll tell you what, if we didn't have parents and volunteers, then we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So we're really thankful for all the parents that come out and help us out too.
And that's what I was going to ask you when you said concession stand, because most of these fields have a concession stand. You can't work all the concession stands, so what do you do with that?
We actually have a budget for part-time. I have managers that run my concessions, and we put employees in there that run all our concession stands. So
that's good. That's very good, because I know when my son was at Cleveland High School, I used to have to sign up for the concession stand, and of course that was parent volunteers, and that's okay. That's what you do. You do that. But now I think it's interesting because you and I talked before we started the show. These fields don't just maintain themselves.
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So how do we do this?
I have 6 full-time maintenance employees, and they're spread pretty thin because we've got a lot of area to mow, a lot of fields to drag and keep the dirt looking nice, and bathrooms to keep cleaned and trash to pick up, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into maintaining these parks that people don't see, because that happens between 7 in the morning and usually 3:30 or 4:30 in the afternoons, and they just come into the park when it's ready to play. So, but those guys, they put in a lot of time and they work really hard. I appreciate them. I know sometimes they get stretched, especially at this time of year when you've got rec league going and tournaments going. So.
I can imagine, because I know the Bradley Recreational Park has 50 acres. Mm-hmm. And the Bradley North is just 9.7. I say just 9.75, but I have a 17-acre field that gets mowed twice a year. Now, that won't work for the ball fields.
You can let some stuff go for a couple of weeks, but you got to mow those outfields at least once a week, and some of them, 2 or 3 times a week. So.
And every time I pass the one on Eureka Road, it always looks so neat and so nice, and so I know people have been out there working. Of course, I've been in town at my job, so I don't know what they're doing. But I know to maintain lining the fields even.
It's a full-time job. I mean, that's what I did before I took over as the director, and there's always something to do on a baseball field. Always, and you can let it get away from you sometimes if you're not careful, just because there's so much little stuff that people don't really see until you've done it for a little while. So.
And I can imagine with all the rain we had at the first of this month, everything's growing like crazy.
Yeah, they've spent a lot of time on mowers this year.
I'm sure they have, and that's the thing. And, it's like you say, you have to keep the outfields, but, of course, you've got all the infields are just dirt, so hopefully you don't have to mow that. But you do have to keep the outfields mowed, and then you have the bleachers that you have to maintain, all of that under the bleachers, because nobody wants a bunch of weeds growing up under their feet. And so I admire you, because I think if you don't like being outdoors, there's no need in you having your job.
Well, like I said, I appreciate my guys. They do a good job with it, especially this time of year, because it can be really overwhelming at certain times.
Well, Andy and I were talking before we came on. We're both graduates, many years between graduation dates of Tennessee Wesleyan. At the time I graduated, it was college. Was it still college when you graduated? Okay. And then you've coached and you've done some other things before Paul retired and you took this job. And Paul was a dear friend of mine. We served on a couple of committees together to try to get some things going. And I know how hard he worked. So I think he was looking forward to retirement. And he retired young.
Yeah, he's He's still working a little bit, I believe. I think he moved over. He's helping at the city now.
Okay. Did he seem to think that was going to be less work?
Maybe less phone calls.
Oh, okay, okay. And there is something now. I want to talk about this before we move to the second session. We are now registering for football, cheerleading, baseball, and girls softball, and we have to be registered by July 26th. So you want to talk about how we do that?
Yes, ma'am. The July 6th is the deadline for online registration.
Okay.
You can go online, bradleyparks.com, sign your kid up, pay, and never have to leave your couch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or you can use your smartphone since everybody carries a computer in their pocket now.
Right.
That's the easiest way to do it. We also have in-person registration this Saturday, the 21st.
Okay.
And it'll be from 10 to 4, and it's at the county park behind the YMCA, the baseball complex in the press
Road.
box.
Okay.
Urbane Road, yes,
Urbane
ma'am.
Road. Okay, all right. And then the newspaper said the 21st also from 10 to 4 at Peerless Road.
Well, we're doing walk-ins at our main office, 3110 Peerless Road, and we're
Okay.
doing those up to the 26th also.
Okay. Now, you might want to explain to people where your office is on Peerless, because I got terribly lost one time. I thought I was going, when Paul still had your job, thought I was going there, and I went to the cannery instead. So you might want to tell people where you are on Peerless.
I get people showing up wanting their stuff canned all the time. I get people showing up looking for the farmer's market all the time or the recycle center, and then also get phone calls wondering where we're at. But we're the cannery, the recycle center, and our office are all right there together. But we are the brown building with a red roof.
Okay, that should get people there. So there is a fee for the youth to participate. And what is that fee? Does it differ on what we're saying?
It's different for sports. So baseball and softball is $45.
Okay.
Okay, and what that gets you is it gets you a shirt and a hat, and then that pays for our umpires and all that stuff. And then we put the leagues together based on that. And there's also there's deals for multiple kids.
Good.
2 or 3 brothers or stuff like that. Football is $80. It's a little bit higher.
More
but
equipment.
now with football, we give you a helmet, shoulder pads, and a jersey, a game jersey. Okay?
And you give them that. They
That's
take
part
that
of that
home.
fee. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wow.
So all you would be out was your cleats, some practice pants, some practice jersey, and your game pants. We always do the game pants that way because a lot of teams want to get together and they may want to get navy pants or some different colors. So,
Gotcha.
And there's also deals for multiple kids in football too. Now, cheerleading is just $5. That covers the insurance, and then they go together and they decide what cheer uniform they want. We do have a cap on how much you can spend for the cheerleading uniform, so they don't get too crazy with it.
Yeah, and that can happen.
Yes.
So every football team has cheerleaders.
What we typically do is we'll sign up as many cheerleaders as want to sign up, all right? And we always keep the sisters with brothers. So
good plan.
So what we do is we get them all signed up, and we try to get a cheerleading squad for every team, but we may not have enough cheerleaders. But we make sure that the sisters cheer for their brother's team. That's how we kind of put those teams together.
Which means mom and daddy don't have to be at two separate
Exactly.
places, and that's good. Now, football is played on Urbane at the Bradley Rec Center.
Our 7 and 8s are.
Right. And then the older ones go to Charleston.
Charleston. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So, and it doesn't make any difference where you live in the county. It's what age group you are. You're going to that facility to play.
Yes, ma'am. We have spoken with our middle schools this year because they weren't going to do 6th grade football. We were looking to do 11 and 12s because that's the 6th grade teams that
Right.
they've had. And depending on our numbers, we were going to try to keep Ocoee middle kids with Ocoee middle kids, Lake Forest kids with Lake Forest kids, and we could feasibly look to play some games at Lake Forest if we have. It depends on how many we have in that division.
I got
But
you.
typically, our 9 and ups have played at Charleston in the past.
Okay, and my producer's telling me we need to go to commercial break, so we didn't get through talking about this, so we'll talk about this and the other thing that I want to talk about when we
fine.
come back. So don't go away, folks. We're going to commercial right now. Now, remember, watch our commercials, support our sponsors because they pay our bills, and Andy and I'll be right back to talk some more about this and also something else that's of interest to me.